Morning, everyone, and a warm welcome from SEMS Welfare Foundation. I'm Amisha Rawat, and I'm truly delighted to be your host for today's knowledge session on 5 skills to ace in any career. In today's ever evolving professional world, having the right skills is not just an advantage, it's essential. This session is designed to help you discover 5 powerful practical skills that can help you excel in any field and unlock your full potential. We're thrilled to have you all join us for what a promise to be high impact and career defining session. And now I will tell you something about SEMS Welfare Foundation. At SEMS Welfare Foundation, we are dedicated to empowering individuals through education, skill development, and entrepreneurship. Our flagship initiative, DigiSaksham, has successfully trained over 6,000 individuals in domain like IT, finance, retail, and entrepreneurship. We also take pride in initiatives like upskilling inmates in Haryana jails and forming partnership with colleges, universities, and banks to promote professional growth and employment. Our goal is to help build a skilled, self-reliant, and inclusive society. This session is collaboratively organized with SEMS Web Solutions, a forward-thinking organization offering integrated service in staffing, skilling, IT solutions, advisory, and admission services. Since Web Solution is committed to turning ideas into impact, helping individuals and businesses succeed through strategic support and innovation. It is now my honor to introduce our speaker, Mr. Rahul Jain. Mr. Jain is a third generation entrepreneur, professional speaker, and life coach. He serves as a managing director of Jai Rajendra Group and is the founder of the initiative Living Life, through which he has inspired thousands of individuals over past 18 years. A passionate Toastmaster since 2019, Mr. Rahul has served in various leadership roles and made history in Toastmasters District 126 by being podium finisher in all 4 major contests in a single season, a rare and commendable achievement across Toastmasters International. He believes in the infinite potential within every individual and is known for his engaging sessions on personal growth, leadership, and transformation. We're truly honored to have you with us today. Thank you, sir. And let's now welcome Mr. Rahul Jain to lead us through the insightful session on 5 skills to ace in any career.
Thank you, Amisha, for that warm welcome, and thank you, Lakshmi, for having me here. Before I begin, please note I drive my energy from the audience, and the entire purpose of this energy or the drive for this energy is coming from the audience. So I would request all of you all to please switch on your videos so that we can all engage, converse, and learn through the process. The reason why I say this is because if it's just a video, I think you can as well go to YouTube and just go skim through a lot of content that you come across. So I would request all of you all to please switch on your videos. Don't worry about the aesthetics. Nobody's here to judge you for how you're looking or what's the background and things like that. So having said that, over the next 45 minutes or so, what we'll be doing is I'll be sharing with you a few things that I have experienced and learned through my career and insights that I feel are the defining factors of what made the differentiator in where I am today. Just to give you a backdrop, a bit of my story before we get into the session and things that I have to share with you all. I did my MBA in 2008. Post that, I've done and worked as a financial research analyst in UBS Swiss Bank for 5 years. Following that, I joined a family jewelry business for the past 13 years. That's the professional side of this picture. While something that I'm deeply passionate about is our ability to influence people and inspire the environment and people surrounding us. That's an initiative that I started in 2005 as a student, going to schools and colleges and engaging with young minds, students, people through which they can uplift themselves and inspire them to take the next step in their life wherever they are. It could be that they were struggling in some phase of their life and looking to move forward, or they are already running ahead and acing in their life, and the target being to take one step ahead from wherever they are. So that idea has been there, and I've been doing these programs in schools and colleges for the past 20 years now. It's been a long journey. And while I began, people said to be a speaker, to be a motivational speaker, there are two qualifications that are must because I began at the age of 19. He said two qualifications are a must to be a motivational speaker and a good one who will be looked up by people. And that is either you should be bald or you should have white hair. And I had none of them. And as I progressed, still persisting with the things that I wanted to do and continue to make a contribution, I engage with students and young minds. As I moved forward, as I've come to this age, now when I say am I still eligible to be a speaker, to be adding value, now they say we are looking for someone who's young, dynamic, someone who's in their 20s. You see how the goalpost changes when we are looking for our aspirations and the things that we want to do and see that things keep moving around here and there. Having said that, now let's get going into the session. That's my journey and what I'll be doing today. I would request whoso is the host to admit people. I see a few people in the waiting room. I would request the admin to please take care of that. Having said that, let's get going into the session today. The session is titled 5 Skills to Ace in Any Career. Please note, while I'm not targeting or focusing on specific hard skills or technical skills that we often chase with regard to certifications and the things that we do, the focus here is on skills that are relevant and needed, much needed in today's times when there are a lot of challenges that are coming up in the environment that we are constantly living in the job market or in the learning space or the way the world is changing in the dynamics of how they're operating. What I'll be sharing with you all is 5 skill sets specifically of what I feel are the differentiator in what can help you irrespective of where you are in life, whatever profession, either you're a student, either you're working, early professional, wherever you are in life. These are the 5 skills that if you look at a deeper level will help you give insights into what you need to do and
Hello.
grow. Yes, ma'am.
Rahul sir, sorry to interrupt you.
Tell me.
Actually, your slide, na, it's very small. Can you make it full?
If I share the screen, the challenge is that as we move forward, there'll be little text. Nothing to worry there.
No, like it's not visible fully though. Like
Huh.
we are able to see it along, in
Exactly.
a
So
very
that's how
small.
it is. That's how I've kept it. Because
Oh,
what
is
happens is that
it?
when you have a shared screen, it becomes a challenge where people are either having an entire shared screen which is so big, or they have my face and they are not able to see the shared screen. Are you able to read the text on the slides?
I
If you make
so
it
can
full
you please
screen,
give a thumbs up if you're able to
yeah,
read
if you
the
can give me a
slides
thumbs
in
up if
the
you're able to
text?
see the screen. If you keep me on the speaker view, I think you should be able to see.
Yes. Now, yes.
Okay, wonderful. Just give me a second. I'll just make the adjustments. Okay, gallery view. Okay, thank you everyone. I think I can see that you're able to see. Again, a small request, please switch on your videos. That is where the real engagement and the fun of this session will be because that's where the interaction happens and that's where the learning happens. Otherwise, you could as well spend a Friday morning going to Google and just reading through or going to YouTube and seeing a video. So what we'll be doing is over the next 45 minutes, I'll be going through the skill sets and experiences through which I feel these are the defining skills which can help you in your career. But before we get into the skills, why is it that these skills are so critical is something that I would like to share with you all. These are the statements by the bigwigs, the heads of top-notch companies across the globe. Some people believe that we are a country full of people with degrees and not having a training to do a job. Tech Mahindra CEO even goes on to say that 94% of IT graduates are not fit for hiring. Some of the ground level realities of the job unemployment in the country today. It said that the age group of 18 to 24, there's over 25% unemployment in the country today. The reality is this of what you're seeing. But the question is, why is it so? Why do you think that we are facing the challenge that we are facing with regard to the jobs, lack of jobs, or the challenges that we're facing? I'll request each one of you all to just unmute and speak so that we can just have a conversation. Swapnil, Sri Krishna, are you able to unmute yourself? So, Sri Krishna, go ahead. Why do you think there's a challenge with regard to at the ground level? Why is it that people are finding it challenging to progress in their career?
I think probably we are very much used to rote learning, so maybe that
Okay.
could be a reason.
Interesting. Swapnil, Amisha?
So maybe because of not proper skills which the company needed.
Okay. Interesting. We'll come to this point again. Swapnil, you'd like to share something? Swapnil, you're thinking? You're on mute. Anyone who, if you're on mute also, please, I would request you to just switch on your audio and you can respond. Why do you think we are facing the challenge that we are facing with regard to the challenges at the ground level of people not finding jobs or not able to make it up to the world's expectations? Swapnil.
But no, not having the skill that are required for the role in the company.
Okay. Specifically, there's a requirement in the corporate world. It's not that there's shortage of jobs. Please note, I have come across so many opportunities, and on everyday basis, I see so many people and so many openings come out. It's not that there's a shortage of opportunity. The skill set that you have and the opportunity that you have, one factor is the misalignment there. And please note, it's not just a skill set of what we are talking about, the technical skills. But I'll go into deeper of what is the real challenge. Here's the next thing that I wanted to share. Up until the early 2000s, there was a time when having knowledge was good enough. Having knowledge with which you could pursue a career. Just having knowledge was helpful to build a career for yourself. But then Google happened, and the people with knowledge part of the story and just exclusively having knowledge, that those careers were done. Then came the recent past, the last 3-4 years, wherein the people with ability to comprehend the knowledge and present it or utilize or apply that knowledge were put at stake because of AI. Because AI was doing a lot of stuff. Artificial intelligence is doing a lot of stuff, which to the recent time, there was a career for that. You talk of a lot of people who are into writing, the people who are into the jobs which are being taken over by AI today, which are automation, and not just purely automated jobs. We are also talking of those jobs which are creative as well. Till a certain time, people thought creative jobs like writing cannot be taken over. But today you see a lot of things which are happening, which are being taken over by the advent of AI. Now the question is, if these are the skills which are the problem, which are not the differentiators anymore, what is it that is the differentiator? What is it that we are looking at, what we need to build with which we will and we can consistently grow in our career? Please note here, I would like to make a simple differentiator of what is it that we talk when we're having a degree, a certificate. What is it that means when we talk of being educated and being skilled? The need is the people who can deliver with the skill sets. But the challenge is a lot of people at the ground level are qualified. Like Sri Krishna mentioned, there's rote learning. They have the certificates, they have the marks, they have their paper on which they say they are this or they know this. But the reality is at the ground level, they are not able to do it. It's like someone telling that I know how to swim because I wrote an exam on how to swim. Ask yourself with regard to the things that you know, the qualification that you have got. Is it that you were able to write an exam for that qualification, or do you actually know at the ground level what is it to be done and how is it to be done? The practical part of it is what is missing. So that's the differentiator between qualified and educated. Now comes the question. Imagine, I'm just giving a scenario. How many of you will play cricket? Can I have a raise of hand? Or in the chat, yes, anyone? So that I hope this example is relevant. Okay, raise of hand, just a thumbs up or a reaction so that I'll know that I can use the right example. Okay, just to give you an example, we have Bumrah or Virat Kohli. How many of you all, for the people who know cricket, can hit a 6? With practice, you can learn to hit a 6. Then comes the next question. Imagine it is Bumrah bowling in front of you. Can you bowl that 6? Can you bat that? Can you hit that 6? Then comes the question. Imagine it is a last ball of the match and your team needs 6 runs to win. Can you hit that 6? Now the question is, look at the same skill that you have in the classrooms, in the practical part of it, you have learned what is it and how it is to be done. But the same skill that is being put to use when we are talking of a real life situation, a critical situation where you have to deliver. Are you able to do that? Are you capable enough to deliver when it is required in the most? Because I've seen a lot of people in the simulated learning, in the learning which they have back in their home or in the classrooms. It's a very simulated environment. It's a very controlled environment. But the real environment doesn't come like that. The real environment or the real world situation will be where you're tired the whole day, and then at evening 7 o'clock when you're wishing or thinking of going back home, that's when your boss says, we have got an urgent requirement. Can you deliver this in the next 1 hour? Can you do that then or not? And it's not just about priorities. It's about performance. It's about able to deliver at the time when you need it or when you can deliver it. And the people who are able to progress are the ones who are able to deliver irrespective of the timing and the pressure and the situation that they're facing. So ask yourself, the things that you know, the things that you can do, can you do it in the real world situation? And for that, I'll just tell you the next thing, which is something called as the iceberg model. There's a study which says that only 15% of what you are delivering is contributed by the technical skills that you have. I see a lot of people chasing degrees, certifications, one more thing to do, one more thing to add. But the underlying factor is that technical knowledge that you're building is only relevant to the extent of 15%. What makes up the remaining 85% is the soft skills and the life skills that you carry, the things that you learn, the way you can deliver. Now, like I told you, example of hitting a 6. Now look at the same example of how your mindset is, how your temperament is. How is it that if you're a bowler, as an example, suppose we have seen real life situations where Bumrah is bowling and one of the fielder has dropped the catch. Look at how one person reacts and how Bumrah reacts. This is not about bowling. This is about how one reacts. You see how many people are able to play the games with people, just the mind games that they can play, and where they can drive people to do things that they want based on how they are reacting. And it has nothing, again I'm telling you, it has nothing to do with the skill set that you have. The technical skill that you have remains the same, but what makes a difference there is how are you maintaining your inner calm, how are you expressing. Why is it that Dhoni as a captain was so appreciated? Why is it that he's called Captain Cool? You see, even if the team is in a losing position, he has his mind in the same spot and is able to think and has got the team out of that situation many times. There are many other captains who are good at captaincy, but are they good and able to deliver the same thing while they are in that high pressure situation? I believe that's what makes Dhoni Dhoni. Yes, no. Are you all with me? Can I have a reaction? I understand if you're not able to switch on your videos, it can be that you're in office, not in the presentable format, but please let me know that you're here with a reaction button so that I know you all are here. Thank you. Thank you. I can still see only a few of the people's reactions. Please let me know that you're here so that I know that I'm talking to people, not just some bots from somewhere. Okay then. So this is what they say is the 85% missing factor in India. While each one of you all shared what is the reason why there's a challenge in the job market, it is because of this. That we are experts. I'm telling you, when we compare ourselves to other countries, we are far 10 times ahead technically in the things that we can do than any other country in the world. That's the difference. That is what makes the entire difference, where we are technically far ahead. But the problem on the bottom 85%, we are far lagging behind many things that the outside world or the people beyond us who are able to make much more progress are doing. So the question is, what is it that's 85%? I'm going to touch base on this. I cannot teach you coding. I cannot teach you training. I cannot teach you any programming language. I'm not teaching you accounting. I'm not teaching you marketing. All I'm talking of today is this 85% skill, which is relevant if you are into, even if you're into any profession. Please note, there's no profession which this 85% skill is not relevant to. Every profession has in a different variance the significance of this. Even if you're a hardcore technical person who's into only doing what they're doing and doesn't have to interact with the world or engage with or talk to world and face the challenges, it is relevant for all the people irrespective of any professions. Because I've done this session for doctors, I've done this session for engineers, I've done this for lawyers, I've done this for multiple professions with people of diverse backgrounds, and these are skill set which is an underlying kind of skills which are relevant to every profession. So having said that, let's move on to what is it that we're talking of today, which is the 5 skills that we need to ace in any career. Please note, there are 2 sides. This is just for definition. There are 2 sides, what is called as soft skills and what is called as life skills. Soft skills is more of the things which are visible to the world. So as an example, how you engage or how you talk to people is a visible skill which is visible outside. But how you talk to people is driven by what you're thinking, which is the internal world that you have, the life skills which are running while the way you are operating and expressing outside. So as an example, if I ask you all, for the people who have not switched on the videos, this is the test for you. I'm asking you all to switch on your videos, but somewhere deep within you, there's a thought that if I switch on my video, he might ask me something, he'll question me something, he might force me to participate in it. Now you see, the soft skill is you clicking on that video on button, while the life skill is the thing which is stopping you inside. The thing which is saying, no, why do I have to? It doesn't matter. It won't make a difference. Now you see the difference of what is driving your learning. While if you're switching on your video, it shows your commitment that you are here and you are 100% here during this session. That's a commitment that you're giving for yourself, not for me, not for anyone else. That's a commitment that you're giving for yourself and how you're engaging in this session. So that's what I'm saying. With this, let's get into the 5 skills that we are going to be talking about today. The first one being, I've already given you a sample for that. Let's have 2 people. Sri Krishna, Ram Mohan, you are here. I'll request 2 people to volunteer. I have a small activity that I want to do. A fun activity, not testing your intelligence as such, or knowing how much you know, but it's a small activity that I want to do. I would request anyone to volunteer. If you can just switch on your video and come on screen, I'd be more than happy
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay,
Yeah,
Ramamohan is
I'm
ready.
ready, sir. I am ready.
Okay, who else? Sri Krishna. I need 2 more people. Amisha, you can also participate if you want to.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 3. I need 1 more. 1 more? We are not moving forward without the 1 more. Okay, Swapnil. Thank you. You can unmute once. Okay, for all the people who are on unmute, now ask yourself, for the people who didn't raise your hand, why are you here? Why did you join this session? You want to ace some skills? You want to ace some skills through which you can get better in your career? Wherever you are, you could be a student, you could be anyone, you could be into your job. But if you want to ace any skill, how do you ace by just sitting and listening things? How do you ace something by just sitting and listening things? The first and foremost thing that I have experienced in my life is you need to be a person who's diving into things. There's no progress which happens with just sitting and waiting for things to happen. Now, the reason I'll ask Rama, why did you join in? Why did you jump in? You
I
didn't know
think
the activity?
for me,
Okay, for just the interest of all others who did not come in, nobody here knew what topic, nobody here knew what is the activity that I'm going to do, nobody here knows anything. If you were scared that I don't know what will come, the people who came forward also should be equally scared, I don't know what will happen. Yes, no. Now the question is, while you're waiting, there's someone who's taken a step forward. It's a lost opportunity. Rama, why did you come forward?
see, I think one of my seniors one day told me, sir, when you are too loud in your room, you can't hear the opportunity knocking at your door. You should always open our door, our mind to grab the opportunity, to, to grab something valuable. I think for me, attending your session and getting some skill, it's very important for me so that I can be focused. Then I can be on my line of progressing something in my life. Yeah, that's what made me to attend this session.
Thank you, Rama. Sri Krishna?
Just to know what exactly is the activity. Like curiosity, that's it.
Curiosity. Good word. Curiosity, Rama, to progress. Amisha, now the question for you is different. Why did you wait until I said you also can participate?
I don't know, sir.
Okay, interesting. Swapnil, why did you wait for as the fourth person to join? Why not first come in? You are on video, you are engaging, you are responding to the things. Why did you wait for things to happen before you were the fourth person to commit yourself? Please note, I'm not pointing out anyone here. We are just trying to understand what is it that limits us and what is it that we need to change. Please note, this is also a skill set that we need to start pushing us. Swapnil.
Not anything reason about.
Okay, now here comes the important pointer that I want to mention for all of you all, for the people who are not on video and the ones who have committed. Two things that you already saw. Rama saying progress. Second, Sri Krishna saying curiosity. Now, the thing with Swapnil and Amisha, the thing which happened was they were pushed into it. They were requested to come. Please note, until you are in your school, there will be a teacher who will be waiting for you. Please, Amisha, come forward. There will be times when Swapnil or the way we operate by default, the default style that we have is we'll see, करते हैं, देखेंगे, अगर जरूरत पड़ी तो कर लेंगे, नहीं तो छोड़ देंगे. Now look at the difference here. The difference is of the intent that we have. Learning is never happening by default. Learning is always by intent. And more importantly, please note what you are going to learn here today. Within 24 hours, you will not remember more than 80% of it. You will not remember more than 80% of what you're going to listen today if you are just listening and grasping the knowledge that is being shared. Please note, whatever I'm going to share here, I'm not making you do things. But if I'm leaving you with the knowledge, it is your responsibility to bring in the skill set and bring in and develop and start doing the stuff with which you can improve and work. So ask yourself, what is it that's limiting you? When I look back at my own career, way back in 2005, like I mentioned, the very point that I began while I was a student. Now imagine as a student, how many of you are students here, going and talking to another school or another college and telling the principal that I would like to talk to the students. I'm not wanting any money. I just want to interact with students. That was something that was there deep within me as an interest that I want to engage with young minds. And that's what I started. And because I started, we have reached here. Today, we are talking of 20 years of journey as a result of that beginning. The question you need to ask is, what is stopping you? Is it the fear? Is it the failure? Is it lack of clarity? What is it that's stopping you? Because that what is stopping you will always limit you in the things that you're doing. You will come across so many programs. You would have already attended hundreds of programs to learn. The problem is you have only learned the knowledge part of it. If you're stuck where you are stuck, it's because you have not converted that knowledge into a skill set. Now, I'll tell you a simple example. How many of you know how to cycle? Raise of hands or the thumbs up. You know how to cycle?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Interesting. All are cyclists. Very good. Now, you all did not listen or get the knowledge of cycling. You sat down on the bicycle and started to ride. You didn't ride the first time. But you started, and eventually you started to ride the bicycle. Today, You will not go, if I tell you, let's drive a cycle, you will not go back to some paper or some Zoom meeting which happened where they taught you the cycling, because that's a skill that you have ingrained into you. It's not knowledge that you have got. It's a skill that you have ingrained, and that is what makes a difference. The skill will happen when you start doing stuff, when you start doing things. A lot of times you don't have clarity with regard to how will we do this, what to do, how to do. We don't have answers, and so we often wait. But the challenge is you only get answers, or you only get clarity with the way you move forward and do stuff. Clarity doesn't come by sitting and thinking. Clarity comes by doing and then seeing what is working, what is not working, and eventually progressing to clarity, progressing with clarity of the answers that you are looking for. It won't come sitting where you are right now and just thinking, what do I do? How do I do? You need to move and get going. This is something which I always tell for the people who do not take the initiative, because the next 5 skills are not relevant to you. Next 4 skills are not relevant to you if this is not in action. Because even now, the ones who will be taking up the opportunity are the ones who will be leading their life. I often say this, take that first step. Forget about fear, forget about failure, forget about any challenge or any judgment that you have. Be okay to be a fool. Now here, I'll tell you just 3 things. It's called as a power of 5. The first 5 seconds, as soon as I say, or you get an opportunity to do things, it is said, science says that it takes 5 seconds for us or our mind to process and get on with the other thinking which is coming up. So when I say right now, please raise your hand if you want to take up a chance here. It will take 5 minutes, 5 seconds for you to take that opportunity. If you don't take that opportunity within those 5 seconds, your mind will freeze. Your mind will make you believe that you cannot do it. And that's the reason the first 5-second rule is very important. 5 seconds of pushing yourself. Now, the next time, for all the people who are saying yes, who understand this, next time when I'm talking of an opportunity, use the power of 5 seconds. Before the 5 seconds closes and your mind grips you saying that you don't need it, you don't require it, let's wait, let's let others take up the opportunity. Remember, you're missing out on that opportunity. Second, 5 minutes. How many times has it happened that you have done something new and you have those initial jitters? As an example, I call you up now and to talk something. We all will have those jitters for the first 5 minutes where you're uncomfortable. Even for me, let me tell you, even while I'm beginning this session, if you would have seen me in the first 5 minutes of this session, and if you see me now, you will see a difference. Because the first 5 minutes of doing anything new will always be challenging and it will give you jitters. There will be adrenaline rush, which will make you do things which are not normal for you. But as you just be there for those 5 minutes and let that time pass and settle down, as you progress, you become natural. You get comfortable with what you're doing and it progresses. And the last final power of 3, this is what makes the entire difference. We often judge the progress of where we want to achieve or where we want to go very, very early. If you are learning an instrument, as an example, if you're learning to bicycle, if you're learning to drive a car, whatever new thing that you're learning, remember this, do not ask yourself, how am I doing before 5 weeks? It is said, our neural patterns, the way our mind learns new things, happens with doing and doing it consistently, and those patterns set in as time progresses by. So ask yourself, do not ask yourself of how are you doing before 5 weeks completes. Just make sure you're showing up and you're doing your stuff, whatever is required to be done. So as an example, if you're now, don't go for any outside example. Look at your own learnings. Whatever you have learned swimming, you have learned some art form, some technical knowledge that you have got. If you have learned those things, look at where you are right now and where you were at the beginning. I've had instances in my life. I have been into multiple places where I've started new. I'm not an engineer, but I started coding. I started learning macros in Excel by going to Google and doing stuff. I messed up big time, did so many mistakes, but I kept on playing. And as the time progressed, I learned coding and I learned Excel and I started a business out of it. When I quit my job in UBS in 2013, to begin with, it was very challenging of how do I do or how do I enter business? I don't know anything of business. I don't know anything of gold. There's so many things which are happening here. I just made sure I'm present over there. I just went to that office, sat there, just saw what is happening and did not allow my mind to take over me by judging that, okay, this is too complicated, this is too complex, I don't know where is this going, what is it that's to be done, what is not to be done. There will be questions when you begin anything new. Do not allow or do not answer these questions before it is 5 weeks of you showing up consistency and doing stuff. That's the first art that you need to focus on, the first skill that you need to focus on. Now let's get going with the second skill that we're talking of, the skill of E. For all the people over here, if I were to ask you, how many certifications do you have? How many degrees do you have? How many things do you know? If you have a lot of them and still are finding yourself challenging, it is because of this one single skill that makes a difference in how you are perceived by the world. I've seen doctors with great talent. I've seen engineers with exceptional talent. I've seen different people from different professions excellent at what they do technically. But the challenge is in how they express themselves. What you know is all in the world within you. But what the world knows is not what's within you, but it's how you express that to the world. How many times has it happened that you have gone to a doctor? He or she sometimes may not be the best doctor that you have, but the way they communicate with you, the way they tell you things, the way they tell you the challenge, the things that you need to do, the things that you need to change, it may not be that they are technically the best. And yet you would see some doctors are someone who is able to influence you and focus and get your health better than the ones who are technically very sound. We go to a restaurant as an example. You look at a waiter. I'm not talking of any big shot professions. I'm talking of anyone. Now ask yourself, which is your best restaurant? Which is the best restaurant that you love going? Second question. Now in that restaurant, is it exclusively about the food, or is it the people who are serving you and the experience that you're getting from that restaurant? The differentiator is how are people engaging with you in whatever role that you're doing. It's how you're expressing yourself that makes a difference. And expression, like in any other skill, it's a learnable skill. It's not like somebody's born with a gift of gab and are able to communicate. Today, if you're looking at me speaking like this, you should have met me 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and you would say, what a miss. That's how it would have been. But it's a learnable skill of how do you communicate and engage with people, talk to them, and how can you make an impact. Why is it that sometimes, how many times has it you have come across a situation where a piece of advice was given to you and you did not listen to it, and then some other person gave the same piece of advice that you need to do this, and they were able to influence you? Ask yourself, what was the differentiate in the people? Go back to your own past, your friends, your teachers, your parents, sibling, anyone that you come across. Ask yourself, and I'm not talking of fluency of English. English is just a means. I'm talking about what is it or how is it that someone was able to influence you and someone else was not able. And that is the art of expression. It's not the ideas which are selling alone. It is how it is being communicated. How is it that it's being presented to you? That is what makes a difference. Now you might be thinking of that teacher, of that friend. Ask yourself, did they say something new? Did they say something very groundbreaking or something different? No, but it was the way they said that thing that made the difference. That teacher, that friend, whatever they said. Yes, no? Are you all with me? Can I have a thumbs up? Okay. Ask yourself, what is it that you're expressing and how are you expressing which is making the difference in the things in your office, if you're a student, in your presentations, in your communication with people. Why is it that sometimes that you want to have a leave, you ask your boss for a leave and you don't get it, while somebody else is able to ask and get that leave? Ask yourself, what is it that's different? It's not what they're asking or what their idea is. It's how they're communicating and presenting it. So here comes the idea about expression, which is, it isn't your ideas alone. It isn't your ideas that are failing you. The problem is each one of you all in this room, I believe, have some exceptional ideas. The problem is not the idea in itself. It is how we are expressing those ideas that is making the difference. Now comes to how do we improve on this skill? I've always told, we all speak. Now forget about public speaking or presenting in a company or talking to your boss. We all speak so much. At every point in time, we are engaging and we are talking with people. And yet when it comes to high critical situation or things where we need to speak up and we need to make it clear and make an impact in the way we are speaking, why is it that we falter there? The challenge is, we just go in the flow. Like we are speaking right now, we speak it in that format only. And that's where it is not impactful. If you work around preparing yourself and working in deeper with regard to the things that you're sharing, the things that you need to make an impact, the important things. I'm not saying you can prepare all 24 hours. But the question is, the important times when you are preparing, when you are in critical situations like your office presentations or making a pitch or proposing to your girlfriend, whatever it is, whenever you are doing something which is critical, ask yourself, how much are you giving in with regard to the commitment to prepare for it? Now the question is, preparation part of it, we often think of what we are doing and how we are doing it. But is it that it is preparation alone that makes a difference, because we have a clarity on what we want to say and how we want to say. But how is it that's being delivered is what also makes a difference. You could have come across the same idea, same lines, same paragraph that you are listening to from one person and from another person. It will be very different, because it all boils down to the way one person is delivering and expressing. So the part of where your preparation is there, a lot of people are good at ChatGPT today because that's where the preparation of it is. ChatGPT will give you all the answers, the structure and things that you have to say. But at the end of it, you still have to show up and speak those things. Can I request anyone, if you are, it's okay, please switch on your videos. We'll have one short activity for you all to understand the difference between this preparation and delivery. Anyone here? Okay, Manu, are you there? Okay, Manu, I can see you. We have this small activity. Can you see on my screen? Can you see on my screen the line below delivery?
Yeah.
Okay. I need two more people. Rama, Sri Krishna. Okay. So what we'll do is, now remember this. Like I told you, it's not about the preparation. Now imagine you've prepared this line. The challenge is not the line in itself. The challenge is not the line in itself, but the way it is delivered. Please note, this is not competition. This is just you sharing this line. I would request Manu, Rama, and Sri Krishna to go ahead with sharing that line of what you read under the word delivery. Manu, you want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fail.
Interesting. Thank you. Rama?
The greatest glory in living life, not in never failing, but in rising every line we fail.
Interesting. Sri Krishna?
The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall.
Now you all have said this. Dinesha, you want to give it a shot? Uma ma'am?
Able to see it clearly.
Okay. But if you know the quote, you can. Otherwise, it's okay.
Just try.
Okay.
The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fail.
Okay. Thank you. Dinesha?
Okay. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fail.
Now here, we all are in the virtual space. So there's a bit of a constraint. Now imagine this. Please note, this is not a comparison. Each one of us are in our own league. But the question is, how can we learn to do it better? How can we get better at making an impact while you're saying the same script? That's the reason I say all of us have ideas. All of us have great scripts, great thoughts, well constructed, well prepared. But the way we deliver makes a very big difference. Now, just to give you a sample of how this can also be delivered, the greatest glory in living lies not in never failing, but in rising every time we fail. Now, look at the difference. I understand. I know this line for a long time and I've been sharing it, so it will be in a different way. But the point is, look at what you are expressing and how you are saying. Your voice, your body language, your confidence, and your presence makes a very big difference in the way you are communicating. So the important element over here that we're focusing on is, it's not just your ideas that are the challenge. The bigger challenge is in how you're able to express your idea. The ones who are able to make a mark for themselves, irrespective of any profession, like I've always said, irrespective of any profession, you could be into a coding job where you are into work from home and just sitting at your desk and writing code. Yet there will be times where you will be communicating with your clients, with your boss, with people, and the way you communicate will show the difference of who you are and the person behind or the person beyond that coding that he knows. The ones who are able to rule the world today are the ones who are able to speak up, who are able to express themselves, and they are the ones who are ruling world. And this is a skill that will not go outdated anytime. How much so you talk of ChatGPT, AI, this is a non-replaceable skill. You could have help with ChatGPT, the scripting, but you will never, while you are in conversations with people, it is who you are and your ability to express yourself that will make the entire difference. Having said that, let's move to the next point now. Okay, just for clarification, what are the 2 points? First 2 skills, can we have unmute and speak? First 2 skills, what are the things that we talked in chat, or you can just unmute and say, what is the first skill? You see, I was talking of 24 hours. We are not surviving 10 minutes. Initiation. The first skill that we were talking of is initiation. The second thing is expression. Now comes the third. Here, because we are in the virtual space, I don't have that opportunity. I want to ask each one of you to ask yourself of the people that you're surrounded with. While we're talking of AI today and the way it rules, there's one skill, not today, but forever, that has been a big differentiator in the way people have progressed in their career, is the human intelligence. It's our ability to connect and engage with people. The way we are able to engage with people is what makes the entire difference. Now, here comes the important question. Ask yourself, Who are you surrounded with? 80% of the day, 90% of the day that you are today spending, who is it that you're surrounded? Is it someone whom you find a commonality? For girls, you're spending only with girls. For boys, you're spending only with boys. If you're in a job, if you're working somewhere, if you're a student, all the engineers all together in the same place. Is it that person who always agrees to me? Am I spending my time more with them? Am I spending only times with friends who are like me? The question why I'm asking all this is, ask yourself, how are you engaging with the people around you? Are you trying to limit yourself to your comfort zone, or are you pushing yourself to know more people? The more people knowing, I'm not saying adding people in your contact list. I'm talking of knowing who people are, having conversations with them, having conflicts, and learning how to manage conflict. There's back in 2005, there's the Roadies finale which was happening, in which the finalists, there were two finalists who had a simple activity of the people who were kicked out of the Roadies 5.0. They were all invited back to the finale. And in the finale, these two people, the two finalists, had to form their team of people who will be doing or be a part of their team so that they can win the final. You know what happened? These two people who were there, who were the finalists, chose the people. And whom do you invariably choose? You choose the people who are like you, who are basically, you avoid those people who are anti you or don't like you or have a lot of tiff with you. The two teams were chosen, and then the surprise was shown that now the team that this finalist chose will be this person's team, and this person's team was swap. Now you have a whole set of people who are someone whom you rejected, someone you didn't want as a part of your team to be fighting for you. Now imagine if you're a student having your teacher who hates you. Imagine a boss who's an idiot. Imagine a subordinate who's much smarter than you. Imagine someone you know, a competitor who's good, who's strong at communication, who's good at pitching his ideas. Now imagine if you're competing with people and the things that you're doing, how will you grow when you do not have the skill set to manage people? These are all differences that we have. If we are constantly stuck in a world where we are focusing on the people that are comfortable with, that I am comfortable with, how will you grow as an individual? And because tomorrow when you're working in the real world space, it is not people who are comfortable with you. It is the people with whom you need to get the business out, you need to get the work done. These are the people that you will need to chase and get the work done. So these are skill sets that you develop by sitting in conversations, with people who are different, who are not, I would not say against, who have a different opinion, who are someone who's different from who you are. These engagements, these interactions are what will help you in growing your public speaking, your human interactions, the intelligence that you have in the way you can manage people. How many times has it happened with you that you are engaging with people or you're not able to get work done by someone just because you have a difference of opinion? The reality doesn't work like that. The real world will need a situation where you will need to get work done. You will need to work alongside people who are different. Talk of the recent example of a Indian scenario, IPL last year, not this one, the last year. Imagine the situation which was there between Rohit Sharma and Hardik Pandya. While whatever happened in IPL was a different game, but once they were back to the Indian cricket team, where they were in the same dressing room, fighting and playing for the country, they were still able to perform. Now ask yourself, can you, with someone that you hate, sit in the same room and get the work done? That's a skill that we need to develop. And that as you progress, you learn by engaging with people. There's this philosophy of Steve Jobs, which is very interesting. He says that the more you engage with the people who are different from you, the more you learn about perspectives. The more you learn about perspectives is when you are able to grow as a person. Because we all come with something like a horse blinder. All our life, the things that we have learned, we have seen, our experiences, our situations teach us something. But people who are different from us help us opening these blinders, help us embracing all those things, all the different kinds of people who are there in the world. And that is where the learning happens. Next comes one skill, which I feel is the underlying difference here, is you need to push yourself in human intelligence. Every individual that you're surrounded with, every person that you come across can either teach you what to do or what not to do also. The process is push yourself into zones where you are meeting new people, you're expanding and interacting with people who are different from you, different viewpoints about how they work, their style of working, how they think, what are their beliefs. If you talk and engage with different kinds of people, you will become more mature with regard to what is the reality and how people operate. So for building intelligence, just remember, push yourself into unknown zones, unknown people. Know more people, the more you wiser you will get. That brings me to the fourth point, which is it is said in the 20th century, one life skill or one skill, the shelf life of a certain skill was approximately 25 to 40 years. You see, your parents or the earlier generation which was there, they just did one thing for 40 years and their career was that only. Back in the early 2000s, they said that shelf life of one skill that you're learning boils down to 10 years. Today, the shelf life of, because of the advent of AI and the things which are changing, the dynamic world that you're in, you are learning C++ and there someone is talking of Python and someone is talking of something else. Some new technology is coming up, some new movement is happening. The question there is the changes which are happening in the world are the reality today. If you are doing what you're doing and the way you are doing 6 months back, you are already getting outdated. Ask yourself, how is it that you can change and upgrade yourself? Are you pushing yourself to look at what is the next step in this? And I'm not just talking of technical skills. Ask yourself, how are you reinventing yourself? Now, I often use the example of WhatsApp. How many of you know the WhatsApp which came in 2008 and what it looks today? WhatsApp first came in 2008 and the way it looked, felt, the features it had of what it was there today, what it was then and what it is today, there's a sea change. And you talk of these upgrades, changes, what do you say, the things which are constantly looking at based on the experience of people. What is it that we can do next? What is the upgrade that we can have? That constant upgrade is what has allowed WhatsApps to still stay. While in a market where there's so much competition, while there are so many technology products coming in, so many technology communication channels coming in, yet WhatsApp has survived all because of this one fundamental aspect. Look at how it has upgraded and transformed and reinvented itself consistently. Ask yourself, with the things that you're doing, if you're into working profession already, ask yourself if what you're doing today in your work, your 6 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours in the job, what you're doing today, if it is exactly the same what you have been doing for the last 1 year, please know AI has come and you will soon be outdated. You got to constantly reinvent and upgrade yourself for you to be relevant and build a career. And this is not just for any software or coding job only. Any job. 10 years back, there was a job called as a cashier in a bank. Today, 90% of the cashiers are gone because ATM is doing all that work. Today, with the technology advent, look at how many things are you able to do today without going to a bank. Earlier, 10 years back, I used to go to a bank, visit a bank at least twice or thrice a month. Today, it's been 3 years when I visited my bank. Everything is being done on my mobile. So look at the number of jobs that have gone from that bank. So what is it that you need to do? The question you need to ask yourself is, what is it that I can improve? What is it that I can do better? How can I grow with what I'm doing? If you were doing something in 8 hours yesterday, ask yourself, can you do it in lesser time? In 1 year's time, if you can do that work of what you used to do in 8 hours, can you do it in 4 hours? That's the thing that you need to focus on. And that constant upgradation in every field. Today, lawyers, chartered accountants, everyone is going out of job, the ones who are not able to upgrade themselves. That's how the world is changing. This world needs you to constantly upgrade yourself, not just the technical knowledge, but how you are operating and the way you're thinking. So just ask yourself, what is it that you need to update? How is it that you can upgrade? And ask yourself, how is it that you're reinventing yourself for it to be that you can survive and grow in this career? Last point, and finally, which is the summary of all the things driven by this one element. Ask yourself, what is your ABC? What's your attitude? What's your behavior? And what's the challenges that you're taking? Specifically, how many of you all think or know that watching mobile or staying too much on mobile is bad for you? Raise your hands. How many of you all know that too much of phone or this Instagram reels or anything is bad for you? You all know, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now ask yourself, what are you doing? Now go back to your actual phones, go to the digital well-being app and check for yourself, how much time have you been on your mobile? Now the difference is not the knowing, it is the doing. Our lives are led not by how we think, it is led by how we are living, our behavior and our action. Our actions are what define, because I've seen so many people with exceptional ideas, ambitions, dreams. But the point is, their life and the way they live their life isn't aligned to what they're thinking. So the problem is not just thinking. Today, you would have all the answers. You would have the most critical things and the insights for doing things well. But the point is not just limited to that. The point is, what are you doing? People often say cigarette smoking is bad. Are they able to be in charge of their life and master their life as a result? Or are they still victim to what their habits are? It is beautifully said You don't need ideas in your life. You need systems. The systems with which you are leading your life. The way you wake up in the morning, the health, the importance that you give to your body, the way you eat. These are all choices, and these are all choices which reflect the behavior. More than the thinking, how much control do you have on yourself? What do you think and what do you do are the differentiators between the entire idea of how you're able to succeed. So in any career, the growth will come ultimately from conquering yourself, your ability to lead your own life and be the master of what you think and what you do is what will make the entire difference. So the question for you is, for building yourself, for managing yourself, how and what you need to do to be aligned with what you're thinking and what you're doing. It is the one of the most important things. They say if you master this element of your life, the rest all will take care of itself. Of what you think, because it's not that we are short of ideas. The challenge is we are short of the execution which are there of all the ideas that we have. You have all the answers. Right now, if you open your mobile, you have tons of videos, content, ideas of how your life can be better. But our life is still miserable. Our life is still challenging because it's not the ideas which are the shortfall. It is the execution and what we do that is a shortfall. I hope that answers. And with that, we come to an end of the 5 skill sets that you need to ace in any career. First, take initiative. Without start, you will not get anywhere in life. Second, speak to be heard. The more you are able to master and learn how to express better, you will get and make an impact. Third, embrace the people. People around you. We are not meant to live as individuals and solo people. The ones who are able to collaborate and grow together are the ones who are able to progress and move forward. Fourth, stretch the 1%. Move and ask what is the next step that you need to take. Just doing what you're doing will eventually make you obsolete. And the final thing is, lead yourself. Be the master of what you think and what you do. Once you master that, there's no stopping you. With that, I come to an end questions. Anything that you'd like to ask, please note the session feedback link that Amisha will be sharing is different. This is my feedback. If you're okay, you can scan that and share the feedback for the session. I'm open for any questions that you have, anything that you'd like to ask me. Anyone, you can unmute and ask, or you can put it in the chat.
Good afternoon, sir.
Who's this? Can you name? Swapnil, yes, go ahead.
Sir, what strategy do you use to prioritize your work and manage the time?
Okay. It's often said today the world, it's not your fault. The world is filled with distractions today. And so one of the biggest distractor is this. Just let me close the, okay. One of the biggest distractor is this. And what you need to master is, rather than thinking of the whole work day that you have, maybe you're working for 9 hours a day, look at the point is not how many hours are you clocking in. The point is how many hours are you working in those hours that you're putting in. Look at using this technique called as chunking. I've had this very strongly helpful for the way I work, because I also equally have a lot of distractions around me. I'm surrounded with family, business, and multiple things that I'm into. Chunking is a technique which helps you in staying focused. So commit yourself. I'm not saying you need to work 8 hours a day, but if you have a task, switch off your mobile, switch off all or move away from any distraction that comes to you, and focus for 1 hour. And I believe that 1 hour will be far more productive than 4 hours of working alongside distractions. So whatever task that you have in hand, remove all the distractions away and just focus for 1 hour exclusively on that task only. You will achieve far, far more than what you would do otherwise. Swapnil, does that answer you?
Yes.
Okay. So just focus on that. All I would say, switch, if you have the liberty, switch off your mobile phone, move into a place where you are just able to sit and just work and concentrate. Do that. And it will not happen immediately. You'll suddenly feel, okay, today 1 hour, but I was not able to do anything, because it's like meditation. Our mind will keep constantly, even if your phone is on, you'll constantly go back to check your phone, any messages? Did my girlfriend call? Did somebody die? Hey, for 2 minutes, let me watch that reel. It's interesting. And that 2 minute turns into 20 minutes. You don't even realize. So the important thing is, today, time management is not about how much you're able to get done in a certain time. The technique is focus management. The ones who are able to manage their focus, you don't have to be working for 24 hours a day. Do deep work, focused deep work for 6 hours. I'm telling you, that should be enough. You will accomplish far, far more. Just switch off. If you can, switch off your phone for 6 hours, and you will see the difference. In a matter of 1 month, you will see how productive you are just because of the focused work. Deep focus is all that you need without any distraction. Just make sure you are able to do that. Please note, I've given this advice to hundreds of people. But the problem is, once they start doing, they go back to their old patterns. We are humans. We'll go back to where we were and what we have been doing because that's our comfort zone. Always focus on building consistently the thing. Now that you know that this is what works, I want to see how you do this. Commit yourself to trying this out for 15 days and you see if you're able to or if you're more productive or not. I can bet on this that this is a challenge that you can take and you will see the results within 15 days of your productivity of how much you're accomplishing without distraction. Thank you, Swapnil. Any other questions, anyone? Amisha? People are waiting for the feedback link, I think.
No. So actually, we have our placement sessions after this like in August. And I'm very nervous about this because we having group discussion and all. I'm always worried about that particular thing because any topic can pop up, and I was always thinking that how I will gonna speak there if I made any mistake. So GDs is something which always haunt me for my placement session.
Okay, this is the world this is a question. Good question, Amisha. I've seen this, especially for youngsters. It's not expected that you have an answer for everything. Please note one of the things that it has always helped me in conversations. Today, I'm 39. The conversations that I have, there are times when I am in circles where I don't know what they're talking about. It's okay. The art of group discussions is not just about knowing everything. It's about listening what is being spoken. If you can listen, deeply listen to what is being spoken, even a right question can show the person that you are. While without knowing, if you try to just enter because you have to speak, you will blabber and that backfires on. So ask yourself, while you are in a group discussion, are you lost in thinking, what do I speak? Or are you present and listening to what is happening? And this is not just for group discussions. Anywhere. You don't need to have all the answers. Today, ChatGPT is giving 99% of the answers. And tomorrow when you're going to work, wherever you're applying for, they're not expecting you to know everything. They are looking to see, are you a good listener? People often confuse that group discussions. People think who you are as an individual and how much knowledge you have. That they'll do it in interviews. In group discussions, they're looking at your ability to get along a group, converse with them, not override them. I've seen a lot of people lose out. Also, people who think that I have to speak, I have to show that I'm speaking, and they are the ones who are not selected. That also happens. Group discussions objective is not to just speak. It's to build. Even if you don't know something, people are speaking something, you can learn. Just asking. I think that's an interesting point. I would like to know more about that. That's okay. That's enough. Even that one line can help the people who are judging you to know that you are there and listening. That is what they want. Don't speak for the sake of speaking. I hope that answers you, Amisha.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Let's focus on, because interviews will be a place where the question will be there, whether you know or don't know. And there'll be elements which is obvious knowledge and which is if you know, answer. Otherwise, show that you can learn that. In interviews, it will be about the knowledge. In group discussions, it is the group dynamics that is being assessed, not the knowledge that you have. Yep. Okay. Any other questions, anyone, before we close for today? Anyone?
Hello, sir.
Ram?
Hello,
Yes,
sir.
go ahead, Rama.
Sir, I have a question, sir. Whenever we start any activity or meeting a stranger or meeting Mr. Rahul Jain, see, after having the conversation, I still have this thought: did I ask the right question? Okay, did I tell the right thing? I could have said a different thing. These are the things still comes to my brain. I don't know why. Whether it's an activity, whether it's a person, anything. Yeah, did I do a good thing for that activity? Yeah, I could have done something better. These are the things coming in my mind constantly. I think how to avoid them, how to improve this mentality, how to get rid of this feeling, sir.
Interesting question, Rama. I think if it's coming to your mind, I'm happy because you still care. You still care about how you are getting value out of it and how you are being perceived. Now, the only thing I would want you to work on with regard to this challenge or the trick to manage this thing is stop being too judgmental or judgmental about yourself. Why? There'll be elements which are impromptu, which is in the flow that you learn. As a part of conversations, you learn, reflect, and next time consciously. Like as an example, in Toastmasters, we have this R counter as an example. Yeah. Many a times we don't even realize how many R's are we having. But with observation, you become aware. Now your thought or your challenge is that you have this attitude of trying to be aware. It doesn't mean that don't be judgmental. evaluate yourself, but don't be judgmental because it's a learning process. Even today, as an example, while I'm engaging with Amisha, Swapnil, you, or I'm talking to all of you all, there's an element in me. वीडियो ऑन नहीं कर रहा है, कुछ समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है, कुछ अच्छा लग रहा है नहीं लग रहा है, कोई कुछ जवाब दे नहीं रहा है, कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है. There's a back voice which is there, but I don't want to give too much importance to that which impacts my performance. So in that context, see how you can evaluate. That's a good attitude to look back at what I can do better. But being too much into evaluation, constantly having that self-talk which is pushing you down is not helpful. So remember, evaluate, don't judge. Evaluate to focus on what you can do better. If you can get inputs, great. If you can ask people, what can I do better? Because this is a question that not many people ask. Go in your teams, in your conversations, in your people with whom you're interacting. It could be your spouse, it could be a child. Just ask them, can I do something different here? I think that's what will give you an answer. You don't have to kill yourself by thinking, because sometimes we're so critical about ourselves that we are thinking of all the things that we did bad, while the reality is nothing happened actually. And so it's better to avoid or take off that thinking. Ask people, what can I do better? Your boss, your subordinate, your colleague, how can we get better at what we are doing? I think that question will make the entire difference, because that will give you an answer. And that will also take you off from the world of imagination that what all happened, I didn't do this, I did that, and all those things. It'll take off that imagination. It will get to actual world of what you need to do. And once you focus on that doing, it'll all resolve. Yes, thank you, Rama. I hope that answers.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Any other questions, anyone? Before we sign off, I've shared a link for my connections in the chat. If you are interested, you can connect with me. I share a lot of content on the social media, YouTube, and all those places. If not any questions, I'll hand it over back to Amisha. Amisha, I think with this, I hand it over back to you. Lakshmi, if you're there, I hope this was helpful, and signing off for now. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, sir, for such a grateful session.